Hello, today we're going to talk about word problems that involve more than two unknowns. So we can definitely figure out if we have more than two unknowns. We looked at one unknown, two unknowns, and now multiple. And so we want to go through some word problems that talk about how to do that. So let's look at some examples. First example says the larger of two consecutive integers is 7 greater than twice the smaller. Find the integers. Okay, so a couple things here. We don't know what either integer is, but it also says that they are consecutive. So if I want consecutive numbers, if I don't know the first one, how do I write the next number? So we have to think about it. Like if the number was 4, then consecutive would mean that the next number is 5, right? What is the comparison? So if the first number is 4, that means the next number is 4 plus 1, right? So it could be, what if the number was 10, right? Then it would be 10 plus 1. So the pattern is that the next number in consecutive numbers would mean that it's plus 1. So the first number is x, then the next number to be consecutive would be x plus 1. But now we have to figure out the relationship between the two. So let's take a look at that. So it says the larger of the two, so x plus 1 is bigger than x. It says is 7 greater than, so x plus 1 is 7 greater than, so 7 plus, and then twice the smaller, so 2 times x. Now it's just an equation that we want to solve. No big deal here. Let's go ahead and solve it. So we want to subtract x from both sides. Again, at this point we could start anywhere. So then here's 0. We have 1 equals 7 plus, and then 2x minus x is x. And next step is we want to subtract 7 to both sides. And so we have 1 minus 7, that gives us negative 6. This is 0, and we have x left over. So the one number is negative 6. So and that's x. So notice that's our first number. So then what's the next number? Well, then it's negative 6 plus 1, which would mean negative 5. And that seems really weird, but remember negative 5 is going to be bigger than negative 6. Next example. The sum of 3 numbers is 62. The second number is equal to the first number diminished by 4. The second number is equal to the first number diminished by 4. Okay. Then it says the third number is 4 times the first. first number. What are the numbers? Okay, so all of the information we have, notice they rely on the first number. And it would be super easy to find if we knew what the first number was. So we don't know. It's the least we know about. So we're going to give that first number a name and call it X or N, whatever letter you want. Now let's translate the second number. So the second number is the first number diminished by 4. So diminished means minus, right? We're getting less than. So the second number is the first number diminished by 4. So the second number is X minus 4. And then the third number is 4 times the first number. 4 times the first number is 4X. So now we know their relationship. What else do we need to know? The sum of the three numbers is 62. And sum means add. So I'm going to add these numbers together. And that has to equal 62. And that's where we get our equation from. All right, so let's combine some like terms. We have the X, and the 4X are combined. So X plus 4X is 6X. Still have the minus 4 hanging out there, equals 62. Now we want to solve. So we're going to add 4 to both sides since it was subtracted. And we get 6x. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. 62 plus 4 is 66. And now, let's see. We want to divide both sides by 6. So 6 divided by 6 is 1, so we have x. And then 66 divided by 6 is 11. So x is 11. Well, that was our first number, right? That was this guy here. So that means our second number was what? Our second number said, was diminished by 4, right? So 11 minus 4 is 7. So our second number is 7. And then our third number is 4 times the first. So 4 times 11 is 44. So our three numbers are 7, 11, and 44. All right, next example. A Girl Scout troop sold cookies. If the girls sold 5 more boxes the second week than they did the first, and if they doubled the sales of the second week for the third week to sell a total of 431 boxes of cookies, how many did they sell each week? Okay, whole lot going on there. So, the girls sold 5 times more boxes the second week. Then the first. Week. Okay, and then it says, and if they doubled the sales, of the second week, for the third week. To sell a total of 431 boxes. So the total is 431 boxes. How much did they sell each week? Okay, so we have a whole lot of information here. Again, what do we know the least about? The first week. So the first week we're going to give it a name. This time we'll use N. Okay, so let's look at the second week. they sold 5 times more boxes the second week than the first week. So the second week is 5 times N. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I misread that. Not 5 times. It's 5 more boxes. So I think I said it right, but wrote it wrong. My apologies. So they sold 5 more boxes. There we go. The second week. So this isn't 5N. This is N plus 5. 5 more boxes than the first week. Okay, and now the third week. They doubled the sales of the second week for the third week. So the second week they sold N plus 5. So if I want to double that, that means I'm multiplying it by 2. So that's our third week. Okay, now they sold a total of 431. So if they sold a total, that means we're adding them up and setting it equal to 431. Now we want to solve. So we need to distribute the 2. So we have N plus 5. 2 times N is 2N. 2 times 5 is 10. Equals 431. Now we want to combine like terms. So the N, and the 2N are alike. The 5 and the 10 are alike. So N plus 2N is 4N. 5 plus 10 is 15. And we continue to solve. So we need to subtract the 15 from both sides. And again, you're welcome to use a calculator since we're working with some big numbers. So 431 minus 15 is 416. And then we want to divide both sides by 4. And so N equals 104 boxes. Now remember, what was N? N was our first week, right? This guy here was our first week. So the first week they sold 104 boxes. The second week was N plus 5. They sold 5 more boxes. So 104 plus 5 is 109 boxes. And then the third week, they doubled that. So it's 2 times that N plus 5. So since we know they sold 109 boxes the second week, we want to double that. So that's 218 boxes. Okay. All right, last example. The sum of 3 numbers is 26. The second number is twice the first. Twice the first. And the third number is 6 more than the second. Find the numbers. Okay, so again, we know the least about the first number, so let's give it a name, N. Now the second number is twice the first, so if the first number is N, 2 times n is 2n, so that's the second number. The third number is 6 more than the second, so be careful, the second number. So if the second number is 2n, 6 more than means plus 6. And then at the top, we said that the sum of the three numbers is 26. So sum means add. And we're going to set that equal to 26. So now it's about solving. So let's combine like terms. So these three are alike. N plus 2n plus 2n is 5n. We still have the plus 6 equals 26. And now we want to get n by itself. So first we need to subtract 6 from both sides. 5n, 6 minus 6 is 0. 26 minus 6 is 20. Then we want to divide both sides by 5. So n is 4. So remember, that's our first number, right? This guy right here. So then our second number, I'll write it over here. So our second number is 2n. So 2 times 4 is 8. So our second number is 8. And our third number is that second number plus 6. So 8 plus 6 is 14. So our three numbers are 4, 8, and 14. That's it for this video. As you work through the lesson, if you have any questions, make sure to ask your teacher. Have a great day.